Hello, it's September 13th, 2022. My name is Joe Weston. And as you can see, I have glasses on now. So if you didn't recognize me, I am Joe Weston with glasses. And we're here for our online practice for reviving the global heart. And it's great, it's always, as I always say, it's great to see familiar faces, to gather in this way and to see new faces and to see faces that we haven't seen for a while join us. And I truly feel, whether people are here for our Tuesday online gatherings or not, that I do feel the community we've established, that I do feel that at all times, but certainly on these Tuesdays, whether you're online or not, I feel the connection. And that is the purpose of what we're doing, is to continually create a community that's in support of weaving a golden thread of lasting peace around the world. And that through our practice, through the discussions we have, through the practice itself, bringing on guests who share that their vision and their experiences, that we're continually, in a sense, etching into, through the World Wide Web, we're etching throughout the globe visions of possibility and hope. And very simple ways that we can not just dream about or have the aspiration for a world of lasting peace, but actually play our part in our moment-to-moment reality and our thoughts, words, and actions in stepping into playing a role in manifesting that. And as many of you know, I always say that lasting peace is not going to happen on a battlefield. It's not going to happen in negotiation rooms with war treaties and peace treaties. That peace is not the same thing as lasting peace. Peace is not the finish line, but actually the starting point. And once peace or no more war has been established, then we can start designing what peace could look like. And peace is not the same thing as lasting peace. Peace is simply that first step. That lasting peace means a moment-to-moment investment and commitment to not cause harm, to be kind, to play the role of the nurturer and protector for others, to clean up our messes when we make mess, and to be willing to have the courage, what I call courageous self-reflection, to question how we currently see reality, to consider that we can't possibly know everything, and that if the world is evolving, then our viewpoints and our beliefs have to evolve as well. And that is, in an essence, of all the work I do with respectful confrontation, fierce civility, with this practice, those 4 points of focusing on this idea of just being kind, committing to being a nurturer and protector to others, cleaning up your mess, and questioning on a regular basis, not with doubt and not to, but just questioning that's how you perceive reality currently, that there's always room to see something in a larger perspective or from someone else's perspective, or to consider that some of the things that you believe, you simply took that on, what I would call an unexamined assumption, because your parents told you that that was true, or your government, or your religion, or your teachers, or your peers, or social media in these days, and to have the skills and to really take a look and examine that, and what you believe to be true that really helped you in your own personal philosophy 10 years ago may not be relevant anymore. And on some level, we're not therefore truly in relationship with the present moment as the world currently is, because we're still using outdated viewpoints and beliefs and principles and values, or principles that aren't serving you, that aren't serving the community, that aren't serving the planet. So in a sense, that's a practice. And every time we gather with the practice we do, as we said, that it's just preparing ourselves for whatever comes our way in terms of playing that role. And I wanted to just share, since a lot of you talk about fun and joy, I want to play a little game with you. I want to offer you a game to play. And some of you know this, certainly my certified trainers, the ones who have done certified training with me. And it's called the Secret Bodhisattva. And I'm going to tell you a little story about that. I may have shared this on the Global Heart Practice, but that was a long time ago, so I'm going to share it again. It's because it's a way that we can take this practice into our moment-to-moment life. So the story starts with when I was still living in Northern California. We're now going back more than 10 years. One of the greatest joys that I had, not just in that time, but in my life, was to spend 4 years working with incarcerated men in a California state prison. It was a remarkable experience where I taught them Buddhism and meditation, and basically I taught them about life. And I would say that even though I was there to teach them Buddhism and meditation, I also shared with them, and they helped me to develop that as well, that it's possible to be a kind and loving man and still be powerful, and to understand the principles of shared leadership, which was new to them. This idea that power and leadership doesn't have to be kind of like a dog eat dog kind of a thing, tearing each other down, but there are other ways of doing that. It was a remarkable time that I cherish. And they had already been studying with someone there, one of the fellow inmates, who claimed that he was a bodhisattva and who claimed to be a spiritual teacher. I mean, he knew a lot about Buddhism, but I don't know, what he was doing with these other men was great. He was exposing them to philosophies of Buddhism, and that there is a concept in Buddhism where you can become a bodhisattva. And a bodhisattva is a realized being. I'm not saying you have to agree with any of this. I'm just sharing you the cosmology of Buddhism. It's when you have cultivated in your heart spontaneous bodhicitta, which means that in every moment, your heart is not caught up in the attachments to self-cherishing and self-serving, but that every moment is a spontaneous action of goodness and kindness and love and alleviating the suffering of others. And saints, you could say saints are bodhisattvas, you could say Jesus Christ was a bodhisattva, you could say many things. And again, this is just a discussion. I'm not saying I'm final in those beliefs, but this is someone who's really cultivated within themselves a high level of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual training to be able to function in that way. Well, they heard the inmates heard the phrase bodhisattva, and they would just walk around and say, yeah, I'm a bodhisattva. Yeah, so I'm a bodhisattva. And I found that charming, and they may have been, because I always say, if you're a bodhisattva, most likely you're not going to let people know you are. It's the way I look at it, that the people who say that they're highly realized beings, they may be, but my question is, why do they need to promote it? But usually if you're authentically a bodhisattva, and I believe they do walk the planet, they're not going to say it. So I found it charming that they were saying it, and I said, okay, I'm going to test them a little bit on this. I said, okay, I've got a game for you, bodhisattvas. Here's the game. Because I saw them once a month. I said, so for the next month, what I'm going to ask you to do is to do acts of kindness to other people in the prison, but they can't know you did it. So you have to keep it secretive. You have to find ways to do kind things to other people, and they can't know it's you. And they were silent, and they were stupefied, and they said, well, what's the point of that? I said, exactly. I'm going to give you a month to examine that. And that became, I developed this idea of the secret bodhisattva, that it's a fun game to just think of ways to use all the thoughts that you have in a given moment. How much of it is going towards yourself, and how much is it going towards worry, things that are about you, that aren't really getting you anywhere further, but you're just consumed with that. And how much of your thoughts can you transform where spontaneously you're thinking about the well-being of others? So it's a really wonderful practice that when you're walking down the street, that you train yourself, that, for instance, that you just say, well, I can't do anything for the person walking down the street. I can certainly bless them. And I want to offer that as a game for the next week or for the next time, is that in this practice that we're doing, that we don't have to actually go out and make anything happen, because last week we talked about how that can burn us out and make us tired, that we can just simply be, and that people who need our support, they'll show up. But to play this game of the secret bodhisattva, what are things that you can do, very small things that can just make someone's day a little bit more pleasant. And sometimes it could be secretive, sometimes not, but I think the fun of the game now is to see what you can do. And one thing you can always do is that every person you pass on the street, if you're walking down the street these days, is to, with other people, if you're in an urban setting or something, is to bless them. Something as simple. What can someone suggest? Just a very simple blessing for someone you don't even know?
To walk by them and just say in your heart, may you have peace in your mind and joy in your heart.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Did that cost you any money to do that, Tori?
No.
Did it wear you out and burn you out where you needed to take a nap or something?
No.
It's really, it's little time and little energy is needed. Golden says, may you have all that you need to be whole and well. I love that. I love that. Anyone else?
I love it when it happens spontaneously. There was a woman at the Walgreens this morning who was so lovely. And I walked out and I just immediately thought, I hope something wonderful happens to her today.
Sweet.
Yeah. That, I mean, I believe that has some impact somewhere. And if nothing else, and that's the beauty of this, you're training your mind and heart to be in that state of, so if anything else, it's benefiting you. Not that it's about you, but in essence, that's the work we're doing is that we take all human beings into our heart, and we take loved ones, strangers, and adversaries. Some might argue that that's going to impact them in some way. Some might say it's just a mental game, which may not impact them directly. But what it is doing is training your mind to be more altruistic and to think in that way, which can only bring more peace to your heart and more equanimity. And in a sense, if you can imagine that, what was it that you said, Cindy, that you wished for this person?
I hope something wonderful happens to her today.
Yeah, if you can hope that in your heart for a complete stranger, then you must be able to hope that for yourself. I mean, that's in itself a practice, and we have to remember we're also one of those beings. So we can always do secret bodhisattva games with ourselves, little ways of loving ourselves. Right, let's take that into our practice and see where that goes, the secret bodhisattva game. All right, so finding a way to sit where your spine is straight without being rigid. So you can allow yourself to come into a state of resilience, which one of the definitions we have of resilience is presence, awareness, balance, and flow. Cultivating deeper listening, presence, and connection. And as we sit in this way, eliminating as much stress and tension in the body to allow energy to flow, emotions to flow. Relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, relax your belly. Bringing full attention to your core and your lower belly, your center, with the 3 fingers below your navel, a third of the way into the body, from the front of the body. From your center, become aware of your contact points, the parts of your body that are connecting with what you're sitting on and the ground. From those points, feeling the pressure of your body pressing down against the floor and the chair, the cushion, feeling that stability, allow yourself to be held. From your center, become aware of your physical body. Simply listening. Let the body speak to you. From your center, become aware of your emotional body. Tuning into how you're doing emotionally in this moment. Without judgment, without needing to fix anything or a goal. From your center, become aware of your thoughts. Cultivating the possibility for being of awareness of both your awareness and your thoughts at the same time. Maintaining connection with your core as you bring your awareness to the middle of your chest, your heart center. Where in Taoist principles and other traditions, this is where your mind resides. Your center is how you perceive reality. Your heart is where your consciousness resides. The brain is simply a transmitter of information in and out. From your center and from your heart, become aware of that part of you that has possibility to be connected to something larger than yourself. Spiritual body. Or however you define that. From your center and heart, becoming aware of that part of you. But on some level, you could say with awareness and with consciousness. From that part of you, become aware of your connection in this moment to something larger than yourself. And as you're connected to that, even if you don't hear anything, just imagine that which is larger than yourself has the capacity to send you blessings. And whether you can hear them or not, just from your center and from your heart, with this connection you have to something larger than yourself, simply be receptive and open to whatever those blessings might be. Allowing that sense of blessings flowing in through you to just flow out into your personal space, out towards the boundaries of your personal boundaries. Feeling your personal space with awareness and consciousness from your center and your heart. With this awareness of yourself in this present moment, take a deep breath. From your center and from your heart, maintaining connection with yourself, become aware of your surroundings. Keeping your eyes closed, becoming aware of your surroundings in all directions. With your connection with yourself and your surroundings, take a full breath in. From your center and from your heart, with your connection to yourself and your surroundings, become aware of those in this meditation circle. Various parts of the world. Feeling that from your center, your personal power, and from your heart, making connection. No need to reach out, just simply be, connect, and feel the connection emerge. And if you can visualize individual people, or if you can feel the whole group, the group as a whole, from your heart, allowing blessings to these people or this person that you're focusing on, to spontaneously and naturally flow from your heart. You don't have to craft it in your head. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. You're not entering a poetry contest. Simply see if you can put words to what's you're actually experiencing in your heart. Notice how that affects you. Notice how that might be affecting those that you're giving blessings to. Noticing how that can strengthen our connection as a group, as a community in this moment. With this awareness of self, surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, from your center and from your heart, taking a deep breath. Maintaining this connection with self, surroundings, and those in this meditation circle. From your center and from your heart, becoming aware of all human beings, beginning with those human beings you would label loved ones. And listen carefully, who arises in your heart? You don't have to go out and seek people or create lists of people. Simply notice who is arising in your heart in this moment. Considering that the ones who show up at this moment might need at this moment a blessing. How many show up in your heart at this moment? Family members, friends, colleagues. And as they show up and as you connect with them from your personal power and your heart, again, allowing spontaneously flowing out of your heart blessings for each and every one of them. It could be specific, it could be one general blessing. See if you can experience this in a way where it's effortless, doesn't cost a lot of energy. It's natural. Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. From your center and from your heart, becoming aware of strangers. And again, who arises in your heart? How many show up? Groups of people or individuals. And as you connect with them from your personal power and your heart with honor and respect, see what flows from your heart in the form of blessings. If you don't have words for them, it's always good to find words for them, but if you don't, it's more what's in your heart. And from your center and from your heart, become aware of those human beings you would label adversary? Who arises in your heart? Who shows up? And how many? And from your center and from your heart, what will it take to open in a way where blessings can flow out of your heart towards them? What kind of blessings would that be? And as you now are holding space with you, within yourself, those in this meditation circle, and all human beings, regardless of how you label them, just noticing the impact of that. People who are giving and receiving blessings. How that might shift the dynamic in the human family, and the planet itself. Imagine somewhere in every loved one, stranger, and adversary that you bless, that somehow they come up with the idea, I could probably bless people. Thinking about all the people that they could bless, how it can spread exponentially. Blessing upon blessing. Holding the infinite possibilities of that in your heart as you allow all human beings to flow back into your heart. As you bring your connection back to those in this meditation circle. And take a moment now to receive imagine that all of the human beings had offered you blessings, receiving that in your heart. All those in this meditation circle, all the blessings they've given you now can reside firmly in your heart, your whole being. Allow those in this meditation circle to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to your surroundings, anchoring yourself in this present moment, in this place. Allowing the surroundings to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to yourself. Really see if you can allow and see if you can give yourself some blessings right now from you to you. Allow all these blessings to flow into all aspects of your being, into every cell, flowing into your organs to heal and nurture and rejuvenate. Flowing into your nervous system as a way to remember this, to rewire the system so that it becomes a new habit. Walking through the world with blessings flowing from your heart. And allowing it to flow into your battery, into your core and your lower belly, charging your battery to full capacity. Finishing up with one final breath. Slowly open your eyes. Look around the room, shake your body, stretch your body. So we started with our motivation. We did our practice. Now we have some time to reflect. Would anybody like to share what your experience was, or any thoughts on the talk I gave about the secret Bodhisattva and blessings and practice?
I love it. I regret when you say a final breath because I wanted more. it was like music. I don't know my state of mind today.
Yeah.
Or your glasses. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, I think that's the practice. The blessings can uplift.
Yeah, they do.
not just receiving, giving blessings can uplift. Yeah, I think it's probably what you're feeling. Yeah. Nice.
Joe, I was aware as you were talking about a place in my life where there's a huge exception for when I'm able to be in a place of wanting to bless others, which is when I'm driving. I get really grumpy at people who do things that I think put my life in danger. I think there's sort of a subtle low-lying thing, and I move into fight mode. It's just not a place that I'm used to being. It's a grand exception. And I was thinking, what would it be like if I not only tried to open my heart to wishing them well, but to wishing me well in that moment of, may I be safe.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of driving.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the top ones that people say. Yeah, oh yeah, driving. All my practices just fly out the window when I'm driving.
Not a loving driver. Nope.
Maybe, CJ, because of the feeling you have today with this woman, the Walgreen woman, let's call it, maybe when a driver does something that upsets you, you can think about her and bring that emotion first, and then it will diminish maybe what they do. I get you. I get very upset, and I start speaking in Spanish when that happens because you really feel it.
Oh,
it's intense that way.
Yeah.
So
I live in Tucson. I know, like, at least half of my neighbors can cuss me out in Spanish. Yes. There's something about it.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Hey, everybody.
Go ahead, Golden.
Okay. I've been in a very tender-hearted place the last 2 weeks that I've joined meditation, and I don't want to.
Golden,
we lost you. We heard that you were in a very tender place, and then your audio cut out.
Okay, is it there now, or is it?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to go into great detail. I just want to say that it has been incredibly important that I know that there is this collection of humans that are gathering in the week. No matter how many or how few of us there are, there is this gathering. It does exist, and it's a place to bring a tender heart and have it be reinforced. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Golden. I don't know, I just sent about 4 or 5 blessings. I don't know if you felt them, but and you're a gift to me. Your presence is a gift to me. I'm speaking for myself. I'm sure I'm not the only one. So thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Was someone else going to say something?
I was just going to say that the secret Bodhisattva maneuver is such a, it's such a forward and backward move. Like every time I feel the inspiration or desire or move toward blessing someone else, I can feel the blessing in me of the reciprocity of goodness, and just feeling the, like it does something that seeds in me reflective loving or something that can't help but hit all the mirrors and then comes zooming back to me. So it just seems like a darn good practice, and the whole secret part of it is the bonus kicker. You know, it really is, because it's a discipline. It's like you don't get any brownie points, but you get like the big fat points. It's a winner. Yeah.
Thank you.
And when we play this game in person, the receiving has its own mystery, intrigue, and excitement, because you desperately want to know who your secret bodhisattva is. And then you start to realize however many people are in the retreat center or in the house, like it could be any of these people. Any of these people are trying to secretly love me. I think it's one of that. I think it's one of those three. And then no, it's not. And to realize that as humans, that we can impact another without them knowing. For me, it's felt more strongly on the receiving end, because I just can't believe these people keep coming up with these things.
Thanks.
In some ways,
One
it
more-
feels like
I was going to jump to blessings, so go ahead and complete that, Shelley.
I was just going to say that I feel sometimes when I'm looking at beauty outside in the world, it feels like reality's blessings, that I'm kind of like, oh, cool. Like that is always available for the kindness of our senses, of like, wow, and that, and that, and that. So, and I don't know who gets credit for that, but it doesn't seem like anyone's begging for it. It's just like there for the offering of beauty. So
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Shelley. I was actually going to just chime in and say that as I was sitting, I've been looking at trees outside and kind of threading in our that we can, just like we can give offerings to humans, so can we give offerings to nature and feel that reciprocity as well, or four-leggeds or other beings. And I was present to that this morning.
Nice. Yeah. Beautiful. So the conclusion was after a month, when I asked the guys how did it go, how did their month of Secret Bodhisattva go, I don't think anyone made it past one day. So I said, great, we got work to do. So if you really want to be a bodhisattva, we got work to do, and they got it. And that was fun. That was fun. Todd, did you want to follow up with something?
Oh, I was just reflecting on something for me in offering blessings. I've noticed the difference in myself when I bestow blessings as if I'm on a pedestal, dispensing them to the people beneath me, versus the feeling of blessing at the same level of being a peer. And then when I am bestowing them from on high, like the priest, it feels kind of good, but in a I'm a superior being sort of way. But when I am on the same level, it feels like I'm receiving that blessing right back. Like I'm offering it and receiving it at the same time.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, and if it becomes a chore, it's not the same thing, right? That's the thing. That's with all of the work. And I'm tying this in with what we discussed last week. If you didn't attend last week, you might want to get the recording about how we don't have to go out and actually connect with 7.5 billion people. It's who arises, and that we're really about being present and ready. That's what the presence, awareness, balance, and flow is about. It's about the readiness, receptive assertiveness, assertive receptivity. And that's all we're asked to do, is whoever shows up in that moment and needs support or needs loving or whatever. That could be self too. All right, so couple of announcements. So next week, what I've decided I want to do is it's Peace Week. It's September 21st is the United Nations International Day of Peace. And many of you know, that's when I do my heart walks and heart meditations. I'm not going to be able to, I don't think I'll be able to do a walk on the 21st, but next week we meet on the 20th of September. And I'd like to use that as a way of honoring the United Nations International Day of Peace and Peace Week. So it would be great if you could show up. That would be a lovely one if you have people who used to come or don't come on a regular basis, to remind them to come, or get some new people. It'd be nice to get a nice community. And we'll just use that in our work and the blessings we're doing to weave a golden thread of lasting peace around the planet, to use it for that day. So hopefully you can make it. We're still pushing along with the book. Now it looks like we're going to be publishing at this moment the end of November. So please blessings. We can use some blessings, and we'll keep you updated on that and any other things that are coming up. So let's do our dedication. So all the blessings that we generated, the dedication we do is that they land for each person who receives them in exactly the way they need it. No more, no less. That it just lands in a way that really, whatever they need in that moment, that blessing can offer them some sense of solace or relief, inspiration, healing, et cetera, et cetera. And may those blessings touch all beings on this planet, that suddenly fresh water shows up and enough food shows up, and that our leaders and governments shift their perspective from greed and war, in a sense, to compassion and love. Okay, so thank you. Great to see you all. Have a wonderful week, and see you next week.
Next week.
So next week.